What if a doctor could instantly know how much pain you're in just by looking at your face?
Sounds like science fiction, right?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
But we're actually getting closer to that reality thanks to some incredible research on AI and facial recognition.
We're diving into a paper today titled A Full Transformer-Based Framework for Automatic Pain Estimation Using Videos.
Okay, Transformers, like the robots in disguise.
Not quite, though they are pretty amazing. These are a type of deep learning model that's shaking things up in a lot of fields, and now pain management too.
So you're telling me we could be moving away from that whole rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10 thing?
Exactly. Imagine a world where pain could be measured objectively, like taking your temperature.
Wow, that would be a game changer, especially for the people who struggle to describe their pain.
Absolutely. Think about young children or people with certain conditions that make communication difficult.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so before we get too deep into the AI stuff, let's back up a bit. How do we even define pain?
Well, this paper we're looking at defines it as a distressing experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage with sensory, emotional, cognitive, and social components.
Right, so it's not just a physical sensation,
It's way more than that. There's a huge emotional and psychological component.
which is probably part of why it's so hard to measure and manage.
And it's a massive problem worldwide. Pain is the #1 cause of years lived with disability globally.
Seriously. Wow. Okay, well, that definitely puts things in perspective. So there are different types of pain, right?
Yeah, so you've got acute pain, which is usually short term, like from an injury.
Makes sense.
And then there's chronic pain, which is what people deal with for longer periods, often for 3 months or more.
I imagine chronic pain is especially difficult to live with because it's not always obvious what's causing it.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of the biggest challenges in pain management, accurately assessing how much pain someone is in.
Especially like we were saying with folks who have a harder time communicating what they're feeling.
Right. So traditionally, doctors have relied on things like self-reporting, observing behavior, and checking physiological indicators like heart rate.
But those methods can be subjective, right?
Exactly. They don't always give us the full picture.
Which brings us back to this AI and the idea of using facial recognition to measure pain.
It's pretty incredible. Researchers are using something called transformers.
Okay, so back to those real quick. Those are like a type of AI.
Yeah, a type of deep learning model. They're designed to process information in a way that's similar to how our brains work.
Oh, interesting.
So in this case, they're using transformers to analyze facial expressions in videos and estimate gleam levels.
So does it like look for a furrowed brow or something?
It's way more nuanced than that. The AI can track even tiny movements in the face, so it doesn't get thrown off if someone moves their head or adjusts their position.
Oh, okay. So it's really sophisticated. Like it can pick up on these subtle changes in expression that we might not even notice.
Exactly. It's looking at microexpressions, almost like putting together a puzzle to understand how someone is feeling.
It's like learning to read the language of pain. That's wild. So how does it know what to look for? Do they have to like train it?
They did. They used this database called the BioVid Heat Pain Database. It's basically a collection of videos of people experiencing different levels of pain.
So the AI learned by watching thousands of examples and figuring out the patterns, kind of like how we learn.
You got it. And the results are really promising. AI was able to distinguish between different levels of pain, especially in those severe cases.
That's pretty amazing. It seems like this could have a massive impact on how we approach pain management in the future.
Absolutely. It could be a game changer, especially in situations where traditional methods might fall short.
So thinking about those situations, like in an emergency room where things move fast, would this AI be able to work quickly enough?
That's one of the coolest things about it. The researchers tested it with lower quality videos to see how it would affect the speed, and even then it could still give a real-time pain assessment.
Wow. So it's accurate and fast?
Exactly. And that's crucial in a clinical setting where every second counts.
Okay, but now I have to ask, how do we know the AI is picking up on pain and not just some other random facial movement? What if someone is just making a funny face?
That's a great question, and that's what makes this research so interesting. They didn't just want to see if the AI could do it, they wanted to understand how it was doing it.
So it's not just a black box spitting out numbers.
Not at all. They used this technique called relevance mapping to basically see where the AI was focusing when it was making its pain estimations.
Oh, I see.
And guess what? They found that the AI was zeroing in on the same areas that humans tend to focus on when we're trying to assess pain, the mouth and the eyes.
So it's not just random. It's actually analyzing facial expressions in a way that makes sense to us.
Exactly. And that gives us more confidence that it's actually learning to read those subtle cues of pain.
So basically, this AI is learning to understand human emotions in a way that, I mean, I don't know, a few years ago I wouldn't have thought was possible.
It's mind-blowing, right? But it also raises some really important questions about how we use this technology responsibly.
Like ethically.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of things like data privacy and make sure this technology is used to help people, not harm them.
I mean, it's like anything powerful, right? You have to use it carefully.
Absolutely. But the potential benefits here are enormous. Imagine being able to personalize pain management plans based on an objective measure of someone's pain.
It's like a whole new era of pain management. Wow. Okay, so we've talked about how incredible this AI is and also how important it is to use it thoughtfully. What's next?
So much more to explore. We've only just scratched the surface.
Okay, well, I'm all ears.
This research goes deeper than just whether the AI can estimate pain. They also really dug into how it was doing it.
Oh, interesting.
Like, they wanted to be sure it wasn't just reacting to any random facial movement, that it was truly recognizing patterns linked to pain.
Makes sense.
To really test it, they compared this new AI to some of the other pain estimation methods that are already out there.
Okay, so like a head-to-head competition.
Exactly. And you know what? This AI performed just as well, or even better than those other methods.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just a cool idea, it actually holds up.
It totally does, especially when it came to figuring out the different levels of pain. It was really impressive.
That's amazing. Okay, so earlier you mentioned that the AI was trained on that BioVid database,
Yeah.
which is all about heat pain, right?
Right. It's all videos of people experiencing pain from being exposed to heat.
So I'm thinking, if the AI only learned from heat pain, does that mean it can only recognize that kind of pain?
That's a really sharp question. It gets to the heart of one of the trickiest things in AI.
Generalization.
Generalization. Okay, break that down for me. It basically means whether an AI can work well with data it's never seen before. So in this case, can an AI that learned from heat pain also figure out pain from, say, an injury?
So like if I stub my toe, this AI wouldn't know I'm in pain.
Well, this particular AI, as it is right now, yeah, it might struggle with that. But the researchers think that the core ideas of this framework, the way they built it, could definitely apply to all sorts of pain.
So it's not about heat pain specifically, it's about the bigger picture of using AI to figure out pain, no matter what's causing it.
Exactly. That BioVid database was like step one, proof that this can work. Now, the next step is training the AI on a much wider range of pain expressions.
Right, because pain shows up so differently for everyone. It's not like there's one universal pain face.
For sure. That's why having more data to train the AI is so important. We need data from people experiencing every kind of pain, from all different sources.
That sounds like a huge project. I mean, where would they even start?
It would take a massive effort. Hospitals, clinics, research institutions all working together, and patients too, of course, sharing their experiences to help build this huge database of pain.
It's a big challenge, but it feels worth it. Imagine what we could do if doctors had this kind of tool to really understand their patient's pain.
Exactly. Imagine being able to adjust those pain management plans, making them really personalized and effective, or even monitoring people remotely for folks managing chronic pain at home.
Or in those emergency situations you were talking about,
Yeah.
where every second counts.
Exactly. This tech could be huge, not just for individuals, but for how we deal with pain globally.
Amazing to think about where this could lead. Okay, so big picture. What's the takeaway for our listeners here?
I think for one, it shows just how fast things are changing, how powerful technology is getting, and how it could make our lives better.
And also how important it is to use it wisely and ethically, like we were saying before.
Totally. We got to be thinking about privacy, access, and keeping humans in the loop, making sure healthcare decisions are made thoughtfully.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it to make things better for everyone.
This research is such a clear example of that. AI can do so much good, but we have to guide it, use it the right way.
I'm with you there. We have to be really conscious of that as we explore this potential, especially in healthcare.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of exploring, I want to leave you with one last thought before we move on.
All right, lay it on me.
We've been focused on faces, right? Those expressions. But what about all those other ways pain can show up? Could we use those too to figure out how much pain someone's in?
Ooh, you mean like body language and stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Heart rate, breathing, all those vital signs. What if we could combine all that information, get a full picture of someone's pain?
Whoa, that would be amazing. It's like having a whole toolbox for understanding and managing pain.
That's what I'm thinking. It's an exciting area to watch, that's for sure. I can't wait to see where this all leads.
Me too. This has been such an incredible deep dive so far. It feels like we're on the edge of something really big.
It does, doesn't it? This is cutting edge stuff, and it's happening right now. It's a pretty amazing time to be alive, honestly.
And for our listeners, we hope this deep dive has you thinking too, asking questions. Like, what could this all mean for the future of healthcare?
And as we head into the final part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. How do you see AI shaping the future of healthcare?
What a great question. Take some time to really think about it, and we'll pick this conversation back up in part 3. Okay, so we've been talking about this AI that can look at your face and figure out if you're in pain.
Pretty wild stuff, right?
It really is. And it makes me wonder if AI could, I don't know, go even further. Like, could it learn to recognize other emotions too, like happiness or sadness?
You're totally on the right track. That's a huge area of research right now.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, think about it. Imagine if AI could pick up on signs of depression or anxiety just from someone's face or even their voice.
That would be incredible. It could, like, change the way we approach mental health.
Exactly. Early intervention is so important for mental health, and this could be a game changer.
It's amazing to think about how AI could help us understand not just physical pain, but also what's going on inside our minds.
And even deeper than just recognizing emotions, what if AI could help us figure out what's happening in the brain itself, like the actual processes behind all of this?
Whoa, you're talking about unlocking the mysteries of the brain with AI.
Exactly. By analyzing tons of data, AI could spot those patterns and connections that we might miss. It's like having this superpowered research partner helping scientists make sense of it all.
I love that analogy. So it's not just about recognizing what we're feeling, but also understanding why we're feeling it on a biological level.
You got it. And that understanding could lead to all sorts of new treatments and therapies for so many conditions.
This is incredible. The potential of AI in healthcare is just mind-blowing.
It really is. But it's like we were saying before, we have to remember that AI is a tool. It's up to us to use it the right way.
To make sure it's helping people, not harming them.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations, the ethical ones, every step of the way to make sure AI is used for good.
Right, like thinking about privacy and making sure everyone has access to these advancements and making sure that humans are still making the decisions in healthcare.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding that balance. Okay, so bringing it back to the research we've been discussing, this pain assessment tool, what are the next steps?
So one of the big things we talked about was getting more data, right? Not just heat pain.
Exactly. We need data from people experiencing all different types of pain.
From all walks of life, all different backgrounds.
And we need to make sure the data is collected and organized the same way across the board so the AI can learn effectively.
That makes sense.
And once we have that data, we need to do those big clinical trials to really put the AI to the test, see how it performs in real-world healthcare settings.
Right, to prove that it's accurate and effective.
And all along the way, we got to keep having those conversations about the ethical stuff, making sure we're addressing those concerns about privacy, about bias, about AI's role in decision-making.
Because ultimately, it's about using this technology to help people, to improve lives.
That's what it's all about. This has been an incredible deep dive, I have to say.
I agree. It's been fascinating to explore this world of AI and pain management. It feels like the possibilities are endless.
They really are. And for our listeners, we hope this has sparked your curiosity, gotten you thinking about the role of AI in healthcare and beyond.
Remember that question we asked? How do you see AI shaping the future?
Keep thinking about it and share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear from you.
This is The Deep Dive, signing off for today. Thanks for joining us.